He has never said a word, never written his name, never asked a question. At 70 years old, Ray Whitaker exists on the outer edges of what most would call a life. He does not speak, but he is not silent. He barks when disturbed, growls if blocked, and uses only gestures to express a mind few have dared to understand. His pale blue eyes stare with intensity that seems almost otherworldly, as if he sees something deeper than most ever could. Ray walks the backwoods of Kentucky barefoot, expressionless, weathered. Some call him feral, others call him cursed. But the truth, like Ray himself, is far more complicated. Ray is one of the most extreme documented cases of inbreeding still living today. Born into the Whittaker family, a deeply isolated Appalachian bloodline in rural Kentucky, he is not merely a man shaped by circumstance, but by a genetic loop so tight it defies comprehension. His parents were first cousins. His grandparents were brothers. His great-grandparents were cousins, too. Ray's family tree doesn't branch. It circles back on itself again and again until the very concept of lineage becomes a closed circuit. And from that circuit came Ray. His existence is defined by behaviors, patterns, and instincts rather than communication. No formal diagnosis has ever been made, but observers and geneticists speculate Ray lives with profound cognitive impairment, likely a severe form of nonverbal autism, complicated by generational genetic collapse. His condition is not simply the result of biology, but of decades of social exclusion, medical neglect, and total educational abandonment. He is the product of both blood and isolation, a man born into a world with no map, no guidance, and no voice. Still, Ray is not empty. Those who spend time with him note small, but consistent signs of awareness. He recognizes familiar people. He displays clear emotional responses. He flinches, laughs, withdraws, even initiates contact on his terms. He doesn't mimic behaviors. He expresses them. He doesn't follow rules of conversation, but he does communicate through movement, expression, and reaction. His world is one of instinct and rhythm, not logic and language. And in that world, Ray has carved out a life, however minimal, however misunderstood. To understand Ray, you must first understand where he came from. His family's history is a tangle of shared surnames and repeated unions. The Whittaker name echoes through his family tree like a chant, appearing over and over in places where new names should be. The family was born and raised in the hollers of Breathitt County, a place already marked by geographic and social isolation. But the Whittakers took that isolation to a new level. They married only each other. Cousins married cousins. Brothers fathered children with their nieces. For over a century, the family created generation after generation with almost no genetic variation. Ray's parents, Earl and Maud Whittaker, were first cousins. Their own parents were siblings. Theirs was not a family concerned with judgment or biology, only survival. Cut off from modern society, the Whittakers lived off the land, stayed out of schools, and avoided doctors. Children were born at home. Many died young. Those who lived often displayed signs of developmental delay, physical abnormalities, or unexplained behavioral issues. Yet the family kept going generation after generation, oblivious or indifferent to the consequences of their blood. This wasn't just poverty. It was genetic recursion. Inbreeding, especially over multiple generations, amplifies rare and recessive genes. Conditions that would normally remain silent in a diverse gene pool begin to appear. Cognitive impairments, speech delays, physical anomalies, and with no access to health care or education, these issues were never identified, let alone treated. Ray was not an accident of nature. He was the inevitable result of decisions made over decades, or perhaps of decisions never made at. And yet, within the Whittaker family, there was no shame, no sense that anything was wrong. They loved each other. They fed and protected Ray as best they could. The very same bloodline that trapped him also sheltered him. For better or worse, they were his only world. His brothers and sisters, many of whom share his traits to lesser degrees, remain his primary caretakers. And while they too may lack formal education or medical understanding, Their loyalty to Ray has never wavered. It is a strange kind of love, pure if not always effective. In recent years, the outside world has discovered Ray. Through documentaries, social media posts, and viral videos, the Whittaker family has become internet famous. But Ray has no idea. He doesn't know that millions have watched him limp through the grass, bark at a camera, or sit silently on a porch staring at nothing. He has never seen a smartphone, never typed a word, never clicked a video. His fame is not his own. It was assigned to him by a world he cannot access, much less consent to. And so, we must ask, what does it mean to be known without understanding? What does it mean for a man like Ray to be filmed, dissected, and shared when he cannot explain, resist, or even comprehend what is happening? The footage of him is real. The behaviors are authentic. But the context is missing. Ray is not a freak show. He is not a ghost of Appalachia. He is a man, damaged perhaps, but still human. And the moment we turn his life into a spectacle, we risk erasing that humanity entirely. Yet it's also true that by documenting Ray, a kind of justice has been served. Awareness has been raised. Conversations have begun. Funds have been donated. The Whittaker family has received help they likely never would have found otherwise. And in those quiet moments, when Ray is sitting beside his brother or placing a hand on someone's arm, we see something more than just tragedy. We see survival. We see connection, however fragile, however fleeting. Ray Whitaker may be the most inbred man in American history, but that is not the full truth. He is also a man who has lived 7 decades without language, without education, without modern comforts, and yet continues to exist. He persists. His silence is not absence. It is defiance, a rejection of the structures that never try to understand him in the first place. And so, as we look at Ray, let us not only see the curse of his bloodline, but the resilience of his being. Let us ask not only how this happened, but what we owe to those like Ray, people who live beyond language, beyond systems, but not beyond care. Ray will never explain himself. He cannot. But if we listen, truly listen, we might still hear something worth understanding.